President Joe Biden is moving to reverse a Trump-era policy that barred federal Title X funding to groups that perform and refer for abortions, notably Planned Parenthood. Here to discuss is New Jersey Congressman, co-chair of the Congressional Pro-Life Caucus, Congressman Chris Smith. Congressman, thanks for being here. The 2019 Protect Life rule mandated that Title X fund recipients be both physically and financially separate from facilities that perform abortions. As a result, Planned Parenthood exited the Title X program to continue performing abortions. What does the Biden reversal of this policy mean? And will federal dollars go either directly or indirectly to pay for abortions?
Without a doubt, the Planned Parenthood and all the other abortion mills in this country were told by the Trump administration you could no longer co-locate your family planning Title X money, and it's a huge amount of money, with abortion. And Biden right now is, he announced it earlier, but now he's doing it, will be ending the ban on co-location so that our money will be interspersed with their money to expand abortion throughout this country. It is, this policy goes back to George Herbert Walker Bush. That's how long ago. And unfortunately, Clinton reversed it when he came into office. And now we have Biden reversing it as well. And just for the record, this is $340 million and an increase of about 18%, according to the budget just sent up to the Hill by the Biden administration, to facilitate the promotion of abortion. It's outrageous. It underscores that Joe Biden is the abortion president. Everything he is doing, domestically and internationally, is being integrated with abortion. And of course, he's looking to end the Hyde Amendment and all the other important protections we have in law.
Right, and I want to get to that in a moment. Planned Parenthood CEO and President Alexis McGill Johnson applauded the Biden administration, and then she went on to frame access to health care in terms of race. And listen to this. She said, due to centuries of systemic racism and injustice, the rule has disproportionately, Title X, harmed people of color and people with low incomes, all at a time when access to affordable preventive health care has never been more critical. Now, according to a 2015 study, nearly 80% of Planned Parenthood surgical abortion facilities are located, Congressman, within walking distance of minority neighborhoods. Is there any concern on Capitol Hill about the location of these clinics and the racial connotations therein?
Well, there's no doubt there's a great deal of concern among pro-life lawmakers. Unfortunately, the pro-abortion members see this as further facilitation and promotion of abortion on demand. Let's not forget that Margaret Sanger herself was a racist and a eugenicist. I've read 3 of her books. She was very, very harsh in her views regarding people of color and people who had disabilities, so much so that she was an out-and-out racist. And you're right about that 2015 study. The number of abortions procured by women of color far outnumbers those by other ethnicities.
Congressman, in fiscal year 2020, Planned Parenthood is set to receive something like $618 million. That includes Medicaid reimbursements. Now, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have expressed support for the repeal of the Hyde Amendment, which prohibits federal funding of abortions. You were very involved in passing that amendment the first time and every consecutive time. Has it been part of any of these massive spending bills we've been seeing going out of the House?
It's a great question. Yes, the last COVID-19 relief bill had no Hyde restrictions on it whatsoever. So money is flowing to community health centers. It's flowing to governors in terms of money that they can then give to Planned Parenthood or anybody that they would like, including for abortion. And we raised strenuously that objection, but unfortunately, the Democrats in the House and Senate, and above all, the Biden administration, would hear none of it and insisted that they wanted to be able to use it to promote abortion. And that was a first major round that we lost. It's great with great sorrow. The next step will be to try to eviscerate the Hyde Amendment and all the other abortion riders, as they're called, that protect the taxpayer from being coerced into paying for abortions. The Marist poll, as you know, Raymond, showed recently, almost 6 out of 10 Americans are against having their dollars used to pay for abortion. That's not even a speed bump to the Biden White House. They are insisting on this. So we will have a major fight on the next year's appropriations bills.
I want to move on to another topic this week. John Kerry, the special presidential envoy for climate, is on his way to China for talks on climate change in advance of a virtual summit that President Joe Biden is hosting next week. Now, in a recent interview with CNN, when asked about problems between the U.S. and China, Kerry had this to say.
Yes, we have big disagreements with China on some key issues, absolutely. But climate has to stand alone.
Some key issues, Congressman. China's destroying Hong Kong. The Chinese Communist Party's committed genocide against the Uyghur Muslims, persecuted people of faith. They're threatening Taiwan. Are we trading human rights and freedom rights and religious rights for climate here?
In a word, they not only are deprioritizing human rights and democracy, they are sending the message to Xi Jinping, who is running a genocide against the Muslim Uyghurs as you and I talk. And of course, what he's done to Hong Kong is horrific. And all of the human rights abuses, the repression of religious freedom, the incarceration and torture and killing of believers and democracy activists, all is going on concurrently. It needs to be integrated with any talks on any other issue, whether it be trade, climate change, or any other issue under the sun. By putting it into a separate compartment, it tells Xi Jinping, the United States really doesn't care about human rights. It's a sub-issue. It's on page 15 somewhere in a list of so-called priorities. We saw that during the Obama administration. We especially saw it when Hillary Clinton was on her first trip to Beijing. She said, "I'm not going to let human rights interfere with the other agendas that they had at the time." What? Human rights is the core. Caring for men and women and children who are being horribly mistreated by the Chinese Communist Party needs to be the next sentence after everything else we talk about.
Do you foresee the Biden administration lifting the Trump trade sanctions in exchange for Chinese participation in a climate change summit or something like it?
Well, my concern is I see them lifting trade sanctions for just about any other reason. Biden and others were very much about trade and did not want to link human rights with trade. He was a defender of the coercive population control program. And then when he was called out on it, I'm one of the ones who did it on the floor of the House. He said, "Oh, no, we're not really for that." But then they want to give money to the groups like the UN Population Fund, and they want to triple their funding that have had a hand-in-glove relationship with the dictatorship in China in coercing women to have abortions and forced sterilizations. Human rights are not even on the page. A little rhetorical. They'll say something that sounds nice. CNN will broadcast it and say, "Oh, look, they mentioned human rights." Human rights has to be the core of our policy.
Mm-hmm. You are the co-chair of the Hong Kong caucus on the House side. This week, a letter by prominent Hong Kong Catholic Jimmy Lai, who has been in prison since December, was made public. In it, he writes, "Hong Kong's situation is increasingly chilling, but precisely because of that, we need to love and cherish ourselves more." He's writing this to his staff. "The era is falling apart before us, and it is time for us to stand tall and keep our heads high." Now, we've seen bipartisan support for Hong Kongers by Congress in the last couple of years. What are your colleagues thinking of this situation now and these increasing threats against Taiwan? And do you believe we need to boycott the Olympics, given the moves, the aggressive moves by Beijing?
Well, I think John Kerry, who is a very high official, should be demanding the release of Jimmy Lai and Joshua Wong and all of the other democracy activists. You know, I'm the prime author of the House-passed Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act, and we couldn't get that passed during the Obama administration. They thought it would complicate the situation. We finally got it passed during the administration of Trump, and he signed it into law. There needs to be serious sanctioning of this crushing of democracy in Hong Kong. They're breaking their commitments, treaty commitments. So if they're going to break those, why are you going to believe them on something like a climate change accord? You know, they're
right,
not doing it
or intellectual rights.
Exactly, or any other kind. I mean, it just at the time of their choosing, they just abrogate the treaty or the agreement. And in terms of the Olympics, we should not, I say again, not participate, send a team, and the International Olympic Committee ought to find a new venue. When have we ever had an Olympics held in a country where its leadership is committing genocide as the Olympic torch is being carried around? I mean, there's no sense that the genocide being committed right now will dissipate or even ameliorate over the next several months or even maybe in years.
Congressman Chris Smith, I thank you for being on the program.
Thank you so much, Raymond.